Hello and welcome back, Step Uppers. How you doing? It is your man Nico here, Dr.Beat, whatever. We're here to do a quick activity for this week, so ignore what I was doing, just try to warm up a bit. So make sure you have done a proper warm up. I've done this in the other thing earlier on, so I've properly warmed up here. So I'm just going to make sure you are tuned to make sure you've done your warm up, your space, etc, etc, etc. Alright, cool. I hope everyone's ready, right? So, of course, so safety first, make sure everything's in place. Today, we're going to be quickly looking at the idea of doing some combos. But, hold on, let me just pause that for a minute so you can hear this in detail. So we're going to do a combo, short for combination. Usually, we've talked about this in class, but if you haven't seen this before, it's 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 moves or sections of moves, pieces of moves, kind of jigsawed together to make a micro little sequence, not even a routine, right? Something that might last a few seconds rather than 1 second. So, and it's a little, something you can create as a signature for yourself, like a little idea that is your own little thing. So we're looking at how we put together combos, and we're going to start today with a simple idea of a combo, and this one's a loop, right? So there's 2 different kinds, but this is a looping combo, and just allows you to either practice a move to get better and better at it. It allows you to repeat. We talked about that in another video, the idea of doing drills where you just repeat things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again till you get where you're going. So this is a loop which can help with that idea, or just give you something interesting while you're practicing, so while you're dancing. So we're going to look at making a loop today with a really simple move. So what do we mean by a loop? So if you imagine a paper aeroplane, when it goes like that, it's doing a loop, right? Or if they do lots of them, it's loop-de-loop, as we used to say. Hopefully you still say. So that's loop-de-loop, or doing a loop. So it's just when something repeats all the way back to the beginning and goes back on itself and can keep going and keep going, right? So it's got this little pattern that brings it back to the start. So first up, we're going to do we're going to look at coffee grinders or sweeps, more than one. So we've got these. Now most of us have done these in class before, but I'll just remind anyone who's new to class what we're doing here. So we have your leg out to the side, it's going to swing to the front to this, which we call Zulu spin position, I guess, and then we're going to bend that leg as we get to here into what we call hook, and you have your hands back on the floor here. So we're going to go swing, lift your hand here, and then we're going to lean forward on your hands like that, and we're going to do like a little hop up like you would if you're about to start a handstand, right? But it's like the first 1% of a handstand, just that, and then back down. Enough that this leg can go underneath this one, right? So we're just going to hop up and get that foot underneath like that. So the idea is we do this by sitting on your ankle or your heel here, and we hop up and down. We don't want to hop up and then back or anything like that, because now we're off our circle and that will make it much harder. So leg out to the side and drawing a circle around to that side. So if we get used to that, most of you know this one already, so if you want to repeat that, press pause, have a wee practice of that on its own, alright? Cool. Alright, so we're going to keep going. So once we get to here, we've added in the jump, and we go all the way around. So that's just your standard coffee grinder or sweep. So we're only going to need one of these for our loop, or maybe even just part of them, as you'll find out. So one, so that brings us back to where we started. In fact, we're going to use one and a bit, enough to bring us back around to here into this hook position, okay? So let's just try that again. If you want to try from standing, you can bend your leg as you step forward into the sweep position and then keep going to here, alright? So, coffee grinder. Next up, we're going to look at using the scorpion, not that freeze thing, but this little thing here now Hopefully I don't have to go in a lot of detail with this, because we did talk about this, I think, in the last class, or maybe the second last class before lockdown, so it wasn't that long back. It's called the scorpion, and it's just a little thing. If you imagine a scorpion's tail being hooked, so we've got this hook, and we're going to whip out the tail like that. I know it's not, it should be over here, but you know what I mean. So we're going to whip it out, and from here we have a gap between this foot and this hand, and we're going to send this leg here through this bridge we have here, back the way. Now, so we go kick out, back the way, and we bring this hand down here, and what we're going to do is use this foot to pivot on and turn all the way around until we get back to the front again, and then we go into hook. So that is the scorpion, alright? Starting from the hook, we kick out, find the bridge, bring your foot underneath the bridge. Once you've got balance on this toe, we're going to spin, 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 and you start to untwist here and back into the first shape, and then back into hook. So that looks like this all together. Alright, so kick out, hand down, turn, and you can actually kick this leg around a little bit to help you swing around, and don't kick your radiator, and kick it in for the end of the hook. Does that make sense? So, scorpion one more time. I'm just going to do these all on one side just now. I'll explain why in a minute. But I would like you to practice on the opposite side as well, from here, kick out, here, alright? I'll leave you, this part of this activity is the challenge, to figure out the opposite side from what I've shown you, okay? So you're going to figure out the left hand side and the right hand side. Brilliant. Or left hand side, right, whatever. So, we're going to start here. We've got the coffee grinder. Alright, and we also have this little scorpion thing, which is the most complicated one to explain for today. And the last move we're going to use is the Zulu spin, I think, unless I've changed my mind. Yeah, we're going to use the Zulu spin. So Zulu spin, as I said in this last, at the coffee grinder move, when you swing to here before you bend your knee, that's the Zulu spin position, knees together. Same thing as the last move, you're sitting on your ankle or your heel, and we've got your heel up here, toe up, and we're going to turn over onto that toe. So your hands are going to go over like a cartwheel. We get halfway. Now keep this foot bent in here, that's really important, so that as we turn over we can land first of all on the toe, and then just push off your hands to get you all the way over, right? So that is the Zulu spin. And normally we maybe do 2 or 3 of those in a row. So I'm going to leave you to figure that out if you haven't seen this one before. Some of you in the class are absolute experts at this move, I do know that, but it's always good to practice them and find new and better, exciting ways to do them, right? Including the opposite direction, right? If you've got it mastered this way, you're on lockdown, you're going nowhere, get it mastered that way as well, right? Come back better than me, because I've been too busy painting and decorating and doing mad stuff. Right, so, here we go. So we have coffee grinder, we have scorpion, and we have Zulu spin. Alright, so what we're going to do with those 3 moves is we're going to slot them together and make one giant move instead of 3 individual moves. Take that, make a combination, squash it all together, shorten it down, we have a little combo, right? Now the beauty of this particular combo is it's this kind of a loop like I was telling you about. Once we get back to the start, get to the end, we're in the right position more or less to start again and keep it going, right? So I'm going to show you that right now, what we're going to do. So I'm going to keep it really simple today and make sure it's pretty much as you've seen it stuck together, but you can also use maybe half a move and take it into another move, right? It doesn't have to be the whole move, but just for simplicity today I'll let you see it this way. So we're going to go coffee grinder, scorpion, Zulu into one thing. Now once you've made it into your final piece of movement using these 3 moves, you could give it a new name, right? Just to help you remember what this is as an idea. Or so your loop will have a name, right? So that'll help you remember it. Anyway, so we're going to go and do it like this. I'll show you slowly first of all, and then I'll try and speed it up. So starting with coffee grinder. straight into scorpion, straight into Zulu spin, and I'm ready to whip that round again and go into the next coffee grinder and keep it going. Alright, does that make sense? So let me show you a bit faster. Here we go. Coffee grinder, scorpion, Zulu spin. 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 Whew. You need some space, right? So, hope you see what that looks like. I now have my little loop. I was able to repeat it there 4 times. So, to give you the idea, before I hit the wall, you could do it as many times as you like. That's the beauty of a loop. It might tire you out, so make sure you take a wee break when you're practicing every now and again to catch your breath. Grab a drink and then keep going. So that is your challenge for today, is to work on that combination. I've just shown you that loop, coffee grinder, scorpion and Zulu spin, blending them together till it's a nice smooth mixture of moves, and then turn that into a loop that you can repeat. Okay, so that's a combo. Some combos don't have the same beginning and end nearly, so they might not repeat back to the beginning, but this is a good one to get you practicing. I'm sweating already, right? So that'll get your fitness up, your endurance up. It'll make all your moves better, and how you connect them. It's all very well practicing lots of coffee grinders, but you've got to practice them in and out of other moves as well, not just for the body, but to figure out how your mind knows where to go next as well, right? So good luck, try and work that out. Once you've figured it out, make sure you've practiced the moves on the other side, so left and right, and then we're going to see if you can do your combination on the opposite side to what I have just shown you, right? So that's your loop to learn, and that's your challenge, is to work it out the other side. The second part to this challenge is take any 2 or 3 little moves that you know. This was the thing I was talking about on post-it notes from weeks ago, right? So if you've still got that little pile of post-it notes from the routine we did a few weeks back, take 2 or 3 of those moves, or if you really want, you can add some of your own. But try and come up with your own loop, something that has a beginning, goes somewhere and comes back to the beginning again, and you can keep it going. Alright, and if you're really clever out there, for some of you that are quite advanced with your thinking about these moves, you've been doing it a long time with me, so some of these simple moves might not be enough of a challenge on their own. So you're going to get your loop, and then you're going to join it to your other loop. So you've got your left hand side and your right hand side, and we're going to make a figure of 8 or an infinity sign. So now we can loop your whole combination. So imagine just what I did, going to the left, now I switch my legs and I do it in the opposite direction and do it all to the right, and I'm back to beginning, left, back to beginning, do it all to the right, back to, so now I have a mirror image loop in an infinite left and right. Yes y'all, alright. Peace out, we'll see you next time. I hope you've enjoyed this week's activity. Take all that, sorry I didn't get to the post-it notes way before now, but other things have come up, so I'm going to do some more with these combination things, so keep an eye out for that. These are quite fun little things to work on, so hopefully that keeps you busy. So, just to recap, coffee grinder, scorpion, Zulu spin. Put them together, right? If you find that you've got that and you still want to challenge yourself, mix up the order and put them in a different order. Same moves, right? Different order, left, right, work out both sides and keep going, alright? So you have fun with that. And hopefully you can see how you can make really intricate, interesting footwork with very simple moves. Just it's how you slot things together and make your own jigsaw puzzle of pieces, of moves, of stuff. I think I've lost all my words. I've used them all. I think you've got the idea. Thank you very much for joining me. I'd love to see all your little combinations and loops and stuff like that. So hopefully when we get back to class, you've got a whole pile of stuff to show me. Keep practicing. We'll see you next week. Peace.